If you've ever stayed alone in a cheap hotel, you've probably heard strange noises. Pipes. Footsteps. People walking down the hallway. Most of the time, there's a perfectly normal explanation. But during my vacation in a remote mountain town, the sounds coming from my room weren't coming from the hallway. They were coming from inside the walls. And by the time I realized the truth, it was already too late. My name is Ethan. This happened in the fall of 2024. I had booked a week-long vacation in a quiet mountain village because I wanted to get away from work and social media. The hotel was old. Very old. The owner proudly told me it had been standing for almost 80 years. The building looked charming during the day, but at night, it felt completely different. The wooden floors creaked with every step. The hallways echoed even when nobody was there. And every room had thin walls that seemed to carry every sound. The first night was peaceful. Around midnight, I heard a faint scratching sound behind the wall beside my bed. I assumed it was rats. The noise lasted less than a minute before stopping. I fell asleep. The second night, the scratching returned. Only this time, it sounded closer. Almost like someone dragging their fingers across the inside of the wall. At exactly 2:13 a.m., the sound stopped. Then, 3 slow knocks came from inside the wall. Knock. 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 I froze. There was no room next to mine. Only the outside of the building. So, who was knocking? The next morning I mentioned it to the hotel owner. His smile disappeared. He simply said, "Old buildings make strange sounds," then quickly changed the subject. That answer didn't satisfy me. Later that afternoon, while walking around the back of the hotel, I noticed something strange. One of the windows on the second floor didn't belong to any guest room. It was small, covered with dirty curtains, and slightly open. That night, I decided to stay awake. At 2:10 a.m., the scratching started again, this time louder. I quietly moved my bed away from the wall. The scratching immediately stopped. Then, I heard breathing. Not in the hallway. Not outside. Inside the wall. Slow. Heavy. Breathing. My heart was pounding. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Nothing. Then suddenly, a tiny piece of wallpaper moved. Like someone had pushed against it from the other side. I stepped backward. A finger slowly appeared through a narrow crack. I screamed. The finger disappeared immediately. I ran into the hallway shouting for help. Other guests came out of their rooms. The owner arrived moments later. He looked terrified. Police searched the building. Behind my room, they discovered a narrow maintenance tunnel hidden between the walls. Someone had been living there. There were blankets, empty food cans, water bottles, and a notebook filled with dates, including the exact day I checked in. The tunnel connected to several guest rooms through tiny hidden openings. The police never found the person. He escaped before they searched. I checked out that morning. Months later, the hotel permanently closed. To this day, whenever I stay somewhere unfamiliar, I always check the walls before I go to sleep. Because sometimes, the person watching you is much closer than you think.